Good morning, beautiful people. It is your girl, Celeste Divine, just coming to give you all some positive energy on this beautiful therapeutic Thursday morning. I want to give y'all an opportunity to log on. I know it's early and we're getting our day started, but I just kind of wanted to reach out to you all and just encourage you to really focus on self-care today. And I want to talk a little bit about what that means, because a lot of people don't know what self-care is, or they're kind of confused on what that means. So I'm going to give y'all a few moments to log on while we listen to a little bit of Tony Braxton. Okay, beautiful people. So I see that a few people are logged on, and I know once again it's early and it's summertime and it's early morning, so I won't expect too many people to be on. And plus, I didn't post that I was going live, but I just want to encourage you all to think about what exactly is it that you need to really feel better about where you are and what's going on in your life right now. A lot of times we get very frustrated and overwhelmed with life, and we don't really understand what we need to do in those times. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to a client recently, one of my coaching clients recently, and one of her main concerns was, I don't know how to go from this place that I'm in. I'm frustrated, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, but I don't know how to fix that. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that I told her, and I tell all my coaching clients, is that you have to first develop a list of self-care opportunities and self-care options that are viable for you. Someone's self-care may be going to the gym and working out. Someone else's self-care may be doing something like, maybe taking a bubble bath, or maybe going to their favorite movie by themselves and just kind of developing some time to themselves. So self-care is going to look different for everybody, okay? But I want you to really start thinking about exactly what do I need to do so that I cannot feel like this. And by this, I mean that there's a lot of people that are really struggling with what to do with all those emotions that come up, which is one of the reasons that I want to be, one of the main reasons I'm an emotional aware. Sorry about that, y'all. Somebody called me, and so sometimes people call in the middle of live, it gets paused a little bit. But one of the reasons I'm so passionate about being an emotional awareness coach is to really help people get in touch with what's going on inside and emotionally. And sometimes when you got stuff going on inside, it's hard for you to really figure out how to get out of that, or how to get out of the rut, or how to develop some strategies. So what I want to do is just talk to y'all for just a few moments about effective self-care strategies, because again, I think that a lot of times we want to be able to implement self-care, but we don't know how. Or sometimes I hear people say, well, Celeste, I hear you talk about self-care all the time, but I don't understand, how much time is it going to take? How much money do I need? And they tend to think that it's going to be something that's so heavy and so deep that they don't even try. You know what I'm saying? They don't even try because they feel like it's going to be overwhelming. And of course, you don't want self-care to be something that actually becomes something you have to even stress about. That's like the worst thing. So when you think about self-care, you make a list. This is what I encourage all my coaching clients to do. Make a list, okay? Make a list of your top 50 things. And I know that sounds like a big number to some people, but 50 things that you just love to do, okay? It could be anything. Don't limit yourself, because a lot of times people want to have these short lists where it only talking about one thing. Like some people want to just say, well, I guess I kind of like going to the movies. Great. What else do you like to do? You know what I'm saying? For some people, it's going to the movies, getting a massage, getting a manicure, getting a pedicure, talking on the phone with their family members, spending time with their family members, playing some kind of sport. Whatever it is, I'm encouraging you to develop your list of 50, okay? Your top 50 things that you love to do, okay? And those will essentially become your self-care strategies bank, right? So you develop a self-care strategies bank, and then you can pull from those things when it's time for you to really feel like, okay, gosh, I really need to start implementing some of these things. I'm overwhelmed, I'm feeling tired. And then you have stuff to pull from. When you develop this list, what it helps you do is actually know what are my go-to things when I'm feeling overwhelmed. For example, because of what I do, as an educator, I'm facilitating a lot of meetings and trainings and workshops on a daily basis. So one of the things that I do on a daily basis, I wake up, I meditate before my day even gets started. Sometimes during the middle of my day, it gets kind of, it might get a little challenging because there's a lot going on. A lot of people needing support at the same time. So sometimes I just still feel a few moments away and I go to my office and I meditate again. You know what I'm saying? And I'm meditating and I'm just really calming my mind and calming my body and my spirit, because sometimes people will bring negative energy to you, or not even negative energy, just weird energy, and then you're suddenly responsible for what do you do with that energy, because once you have it around you, you can't unhave it around you, right? Because it's there. Unless you just go to a whole different location. That may not always be a viable option when you're at work. So you have to take a few moments to figure out what exactly do I need to do. Well, you pull from your self-care strategies bank, and then you actually have specific things that that you can actually utilize when you're getting frustrated. When at work, some of my self-care strategies, some of my favorite ones are going and taking a walk. Why? Because sometimes if you go take a walk, it keeps you from saying things that you don't need to say when you shouldn't say them, because it's easy for your tongue to just fly off. But once you say something, you can't unsay it, right? So you have to make sure that you're very cautious and cognizant of what you're saying and how you're conducting yourself in the workplace environment, okay? Another thing that I do also is I take a few moments and I go meditate. And then I've started doing this a lot. One of my students noticed it years ago. He was like, Miss Gabby, I can always tell when, you're feeling some kind of way, because you'll just pause and you put on lip gloss. Now, I know this sounds like a silly one, but putting on lip gloss for me gives me a time to I love lip gloss for one. So that's easy. But it's just the fact that it helps me pause my thoughts, because I don't want to say the wrong thing before it's time to say the wrong thing. And I love the way, lip gloss feels on my lips. So, of course, if I put on lip gloss, I'm feeling good and I'm calming myself at the same time. I know it seems like an interesting strategy, but hey, it works for me. Some of the things that I do for self-care when I'm not working are, sometimes I'll go work out, or sometimes I'll just curl up on my sofa and watch television and relax and turn my phone off. A lot of people have a hard time disconnecting from the cell phone, emails, work stuff, social media, but sometimes you need to unplug, because when you unplug, you're able to say, golly, I could just exhale. I could just be. And I think a lot of times we forget that we have so many roles that come up and the things that we do on a daily basis that we don't even realize that sometimes we're overwhelming ourselves and we need time to just go cool off. Also, some of my self-care strategies are reading a book. I love reading. I love writing. Y'all, this is one of the favorite things I'd love to do. I love to get a brand new journal, a brand new writing journal, and brand new pens. And I could just go write for hours. Don't bother me. I won't bother you. I'm not calling you. I'm not answering the phone during that time. Because for me, that's all about fueling my spirit and fueling my soul. And that's what I need at that moment. And I know that about myself. So since I know that about myself, then I make sure that I constantly have new journals, new pens around me at all times. There's new pens and journals in my car, at home, in my home office, in my bedroom, in my living room. There's just always these things around, because those things fuel me when I'm kind of feeling overwhelmed or tired or stressed. Other things that you can do for self-care are, maybe go out to have your favorite meal at your favorite restaurant and not worry about having to have someone with you. There's kind of this old motif that you have to, girl, don't be seen by yourself going out to eat, because people going to think this, people going to think that. Let me tell you something. People going to think stuff anyway. So it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. It does not matter what they think about while you're by yourself or whatever have you. You're doing that for yourself. And sometimes it's not even maybe going to have a whole meal, but it's going to have your favorite dessert, maybe a cupcake or something where it's just like, I could just get away and just kind of exhale for a moment, and self-care comes in all kind of forms. Like I said, bubble baths, maybe going to take a class that you wouldn't normally take, maybe like a sewing class or a photography class, things based on your interests. Or some people really, really love to clean. Go clean up. Therapeutic cleaning is amazing because it has several benefits. You're burning calories, for one. You're calming your mind and your spirit, for two, if that's something that you enjoy doing. And for three, your home is going to be clean. When you calm down from all that and you've cleaned up, you're like, oh, wow. Your house smells good. And I don't know about y'all, but I love leaving home and coming back and my home is already cleaned up and it smells good. It's just a great, great, great feeling. So these are just a few things that I do and that I recommend that people do for self-care. It's so many though, like literally. Let me look at some of the ones on the list. Some people like to cook. So one of the strategies is a self-care strategy is to go cook something. Cook your favorite restaurant. Your favorite recipe. Go cook, you know what I'm saying? Take a nap. I love taking naps, y'all. I didn't know how important nap time was until I became an adult. When you're a kid, you're like fighting it because you're trying to stay up and see everything. But now, baby, I will take a nap in a minute. I don't even think twice about it. I'll go take a nap and be in my zone. Do you hear me? No problem. Some of the other ones that are suggested is check in with yourself a few times a day and take a moment to process your thoughts and emotions and don't let them build up. This one is very important, especially when you're thinking about your emotional awareness, really. Like, you need to check in with yourself and say, am I getting overwhelmed by this? Am I frustrated by this? If I am frustrated by this, what exactly does this mean? Why am I getting frustrated? Why is this a trigger point? Why is this a concern area? What's happening right now? Check in with yourself, because you need to do that, because when you start letting things build up, then you're going to explode and go off on the wrong person, and that's never good. 5-minute meditation on your feet. We talked about that a little bit as well. Carve a couple hours out of your schedule to enjoy a classic film. Let me tell you something about that. On my calendar, just like we pencil in appointments to see people and to go take care of business, I have me time on my calendar. Okay, every single month, every single day, there's some time carved out, but definitely on a weekly basis, I have me time. And it can be anywhere from 1 hour to 4 or 5 hours, and sometimes it's a full day. A few weekends ago, I had a me time weekend, and I loved it. And what do you do on me time weekends? Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. And it just feels good, because sometimes you just need to be by yourself. You know what I'm saying? People be talking to you nonstop all the time. Sometimes you just need to be by yourself and be to yourself. Let's see. Okay, so one of the self-care strategies that was also suggested is make up a brand new dance move and teach it to somebody. That is so fun. Most of these dances get started just like that. Someone was sitting at the house, listening to some music, and they started doing something different. And suddenly they said, you know what? I'm going to make this dance. And then they start sharing it with people. And then they recorded themselves doing it. And when they recorded themselves doing it, guess what? Now everyone knows this dance, and it becomes a phenomenon. So, I mean, like, those are amazing things to do, especially when you feel like you're just getting overwhelmed, or you just need to take some time for yourself. Let's see. Oh, this is a really good one, y'all, for self-care. Worry less about your bathroom scale or any other appliance that makes you feel bad about yourself. This is really, really, really important, because a lot of times we focus so much on the numbers on the scale, and it just stresses us out, and we're frustrated and we're sad. And why do we want to do that? Why do we do that to ourselves? Why? Yes, physical health is very important. That's something I'm working on a daily basis. It's extremely important to work on your physical health and your emotional health and your spiritual health and your mental health. But if you're going to do things that are constantly making you feel really, really bad, that's not healthy. For me, I only weigh in once a week. So I'm not eating something today, then looking at the scale in the morning, and eating something right now, and then looking at the scale 20 minutes from now, because that's just only going to make me worry. And because our bodies, our weight fluctuates so much based on time of day, what all you eating, what all you drinking, have you released, have you went to the restroom. I mean, all these things affect what the scale shows you at that moment. So it makes no sense to keep doing it to yourself on a day-in-day basis, because today you may be up, tomorrow you may be down, tomorrow, and a few days from there, you might be up again, then you're down 10 pounds, and then you're like up 4 pounds. Don't do that to yourself, because it makes you overwhelmed and frustrated, and it's not necessary. I mean, really. A lot of times, from what I understand from being a member of Weight Watchers, which I love so much, a lot of times you may not see the success on the scale, but it may be you might be feeling it in your clothes. You may be seeing it, as far as how things are fitting you differently and everything. So it's not always going to show that your success is not always going to show on the scale. And that's something really hard for a lot of people to think about or get their minds around, because you feel like you should see it on the scale, but it does not always happen that way. Okay, one of the suggestions is go to a support group meetings and share. That's what I love to do when I go to Weight Watchers. I mean, I love going to Weight Watchers because other people that's working on